All right, hey guys. First of all, congratulations to all of you on being here. To win in a field of over 1,900 teams in any kind of contest is pretty remarkable, especially when you consider the fact that some of the people here we've seen before too. Goes to show just, you know, it really takes a lot to pull off an accomplishment like that. So Len and I thought it would be fun to kind of just introduce everyone. So the field of finalists, we get to know each other a little bit. And I'm Jesse, by the way. If we haven't met yet, I'm sure we'll meet at some point, but it's great to have you all here. So let's start with our first qualifier. He's interviewed most of you, so you probably all know him by now. And he's also the host of the Roto Grinders Daily podcast with a very humorous and light take on daily fantasy sports community. He covered the FFFC, and now he's competing here as a finalist. And he was our first qualifier. He's a big college sports fan, loves NCAA football, refers to himself as a self-proclaimed college fantasy football savant. And that's from Florida, goes by DB730 on FanDuel, and that's stand by. Congratulations. Yeah.
Not yet. You touched it.
Yeah, so I'm Len, by the way. I work at FanDuel, obviously. Our second qualifier is from Chicago. He used Kenneth Fareed, Bradley Beal, and A.J. Price as his keys to success to get to LeBron and Kobe to win. And he's thinking about building a giant man cave in his basement if he wins. So hopefully he can get that done. And Steve Allred from Chicago, SAM dog. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You started it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, our third qualifier is Scott Donovan. He's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be here
Plug in
tomorrow.
tonight.
Let's all do
Let's
this.
show now. Let's give him
Okay, our fourth qualifier is a big Spurs and Astros fan. He's active in just about every daily fantasy sport. He was also an FFFC 2012 finalist. So he's back here for the second time in the last 3 months. He also writes a daily column showcasing his NBA picks for the day. Probably won't be writing one tomorrow. And from San Antonio, Texas, goes by Head Shopper. That's David Kaplan. Welcome.
All right, this next guy, we like him around the office, especially us Knicks fans. He loves to talk Knicks in the FanDuel chat. His winning lineup did have Carmelo in it, so we'll see about Carmelo for tomorrow. He also had Josh Smith, Vucevic, and his key to success was Antoine Jameson. So if he wins, he wants to open up an online sneaker store, so I think that's the best idea we've heard so far. And rumor has it he's going to be rocking his Bernard King jersey tomorrow. And yeah, that's Charles King from Brooklyn, New York. Knicks fans have a
Number 6, another person who qualified for our FFFC, but in 2011, and he finished in second place to Chris Prince. He's been playing fantasy sports since 1980. He actually played on USA Today through the newspaper. And literally 1 minute before tip-off, when he was setting his qualifying lineup, he added Rondo and Noah, made some last-minute changes, and both had some of their best nights of the season. That lineup scored 362 points. So watch out for this guy from Wichita, Kansas, spawned 65. That's Charles Bell. All right, forget everything. He's actually not there.
Yeah, the next guy, so he just logged on to FanDuel and won a seat here in his first try, so should be pretty easy for him tomorrow. He got big nights out of Gerald Wallace, Monte Ellis, and Iguodala, and that sent him right here. He's from Denver. Penny Packer, Mr. Aaron Blauer.
Okay. Our next finalist finalists loves to fish, so don't be surprised if you see John Selmans and Brandon Bass in his lineup. That reaction out of everyone. During his qualifying lineup, the Celtics and Bucks game went to overtime, which gave him the actual boost he needed, since he had Paul Pierce and Larry Sanders in his lineup. And his brothers that night actually gave him a lot of help for picking Larry Sanders. So it's a good thing he went with his gut. Don't listen to your brothers tomorrow. This from Kansas, Blake West.
All right, the next guy we have up, this guy's a new user also, joined in September, tried to qualify a few times, finally got it right, December 28th, won with the lineup with LeBron, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, J.R. Smith, good game yesterday, Aaron Flau, Kenneth Farid, to Boston 215, Anthony Fair from Philly, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Our next finalist isn't here, but he was finalist number 10. His brother convinced him to join FanDuel, and he quickly found success after he placed top 10 in a big tournament right away. And during his qualifying run, CP3 hit 6 free throws in the last 39 seconds of a game. I'm sure you guys can all relate to that kind of thing. And that put him up by 1 point to win the qualifier. He's coming from Hawaii. He'll be here tomorrow. AJ Hoff, 32, Drew Hoff.
Hawaii. Hawaii's not here yet.
So our next guy, his qualifying win for the tournament was his 777th game on FanDuel, so that's got to bode well for Vegas. So, he won despite Brandon Knight only putting up 13 points because Durant Wade, Josh Smith, Teague, and Kyle Korver each went over 40. This is Adam Tartaglia, HTX Stangs from Houston.
Okay. Finalist number 12, another familiar face. He was also here for our FFFC finals a few months ago. If you don't know his name, you've probably seen his panda avatar up on the leaderboard in one of the contests. Second person here was also in the FFFC. Not only did he make last year's FFFC finals, but he also made our DFBC finals in 2011. So some would call him the Bo Jackson of Daily Fantasy. We call him Napster Man from San Francisco, Eric Wardenberg.
All right, our next guy is also a pretty big name out there. Experienced fantasy basketball player, also likes fantasy baseball. He's from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's Neil Nadonakare, Neo Gamer.
Okay, finalist number 14 is the lone Canadian in the field. His whole country will be watching him tomorrow. He only started playing fantasy basketball this season, though he's obviously been playing fantasy hockey for many years. And his keys to success that night were Brandon Knight, who scored 41 points, and Thaddeus Young, who scored 44. I believe it was his first fantasy basketball contest on FanDuel that got him in. And he goes by Mario BR1709, Mario Bruno.
So this guy really needs no introduction. He's had the shortest trip out of everyone here too, so he's rested. He's known as a fantasy basketball powerhouse. Definitely not a guy you want to end up staring down the head-to-head. 5 players in his qualifying lineup scored over 40 points. He writes 4 different fantasy sports columns, and he goes by Notorious Derek Farnsworth.